Hi guys, I'm Becky, my channel is What Beck Sews. Welcome back if you're a subscriber and welcome if you're new. Today is a Friday Sews where I'm going to share my sewing journey with you. So it is Friday here in the UK. It is Thursday when I am filming this. We are in -6 temperatures. Now I know for some of you, including a lady that did comment last week to say how cold it was where she was, and I was just like, I don't know how you managed that. This is very cold for the UK and I have been feeling quite lethargic and I don't know how to explain how I've been feeling. Hence why I'm coming at you in the comfiest of comfies, looking the roughest of roughest. I am literally in a Tilly and the Buttons Freya top, a ready-to-wear knit top that is massive. I love this knit top though. It's just huge. It's not flattering. And then I've got a pair of ready-to-wear pink joggers, and I've even got some Christmas slippers on. I am that cold. I'll pop a picture in here of the ensemble because it looks completely ridiculous, but I've got to share my ridiculous with you. So that is me today and what I am wearing. Now, as for sewing, I haven't really got a lot of sewing done this week. I will be honest, because I've been feeling quite lethargic and tired, it's been a busy week of work, I just haven't been in the mood to sew when I've got home in the evenings. And when I have needed to do something, focusing on rebuilding some of my stock for Jazz and Wow has just taken priority. I'm also in the process of building a website for Jazz and Wow, which is very time consuming, and it just means that I'm not getting my sewing time in. Now, I am hoping this weekend I will get a chance to do that. But I did go to the Staffordshire Social last week. I got to see the beautiful ladies, and I'll pop a picture in here of all of us. We're all in a mix of Billies and South Bank sweaters across the, we all came. I think Ruth's the only one that was the odd one out, who is seamstress over here. I'll link her channel down below. But yeah, it was a really, really nice day. It was really good to catch up with everybody again. I had a moment of being absolutely gutted not to win the raffle prize, which was caught on camera, because I had got so excited because I thought it was my number that had been called out, when in fact it was Adele's, because I'd asked Adele 2 minutes before she drew the raffle what her number was, and she was 101 and I was 103, and she called 101 and I thought 101 was me, and that was my face when I didn't win. The other exciting thing that happened on Saturday was Adele brought her Nova coat with her for everybody to try on. Everybody wanted to steal it because it's just, the fabric is so amazing. I've even done the Google Lens thing trying to find this fabric. It's sold out. I found a make in the fabric, but it has sold out anywhere. So if anybody out there knows where to find this fabric, please, 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 please drop it in the comments below, because I want some of this fabric and I cannot find it anywhere. However, this is the picture of me wearing the Nova coat that has been made by Adele. Now, she wouldn't let me steal it, which is really frustrating. I'll link Adele's channel down below, but I'm pretty sure you all know who she is. Now, I love this and I thought it looked amazing on me. Now, when I went shopping and I tried on loads of different coats, I didn't like any of the oversized coats on me. I didn't think they looked good. I just thought they were awful. But this, I loved. I loved the way it sat on the back. I loved the way it sat on the front, and it just made me want to make it. Now, my mum bought me the Nova coat pattern a couple of years ago. She bought me some pink boiled wool fabric to go with it, although it wasn't enough that she bought me, because when I'd sent her the link to it, I'd sent her the link to that, and I wanted to do a blue and pink colour block, and inspired by the lovely Sew Amelia and how she did her Nova coat. So she only ordered me 2 meters of the pink, which just wasn't enough. So as a result of that, I ended up buying some fabric from First Fabrics, and I don't think that fabric is right for the Nova coat. So I am going to look for some fabric to specifically make myself this, because I didn't think that I would like it with it being oversized, but having seen myself in it and taking a picture of it, and this is the advantage of being around friends that sew and attending socials and where they've made something, especially with Adele. Adele is smaller than me. She is genuinely, I think, about a size smaller than me in most of the makes, but Adele really likes an oversized fit. So 9 times out of 10, if she makes something, I could probably get away with trying it on and it's likely to fit me, but it will just look different in the way it fits because she prefers that oversized fit. So with the Nova coat, I thought this sizing was absolutely perfect on me. it's the size I'm going to make. I don't know what that was. I've got to ask her, and this will go into my plans somewhere down the line in the near future. I may even choose to take this away with me on the sewing retreat that I go to in 2 weeks' time, because Adele's made it so if I get into any trouble, I'm not very good at following instructions. I'm definitely a visual learner, and a lot of the time when I sew, and I've got no problem in admitting this to you guys, I will see if there is a tutorial out there online, because I tend to interpret the instructions a lot easier than I do when I read them. For some reason, I just can't take them in. Tilly and the buttons patterns, I can quite happily sew up from her instructions. Friday Pattern Company, 9 times out of 10, but I still like to refer back to some of the tutorials. So yeah, I am a visual learner. So sitting at the retreat, watching videos of how to sew up an overcoat, probably not going to be the best use of my time, but I may watch some of the videos beforehand, so I've got an idea of the techniques and then feel more familiar when I'm reading it. And if I get stuck, Adele's about to help me. So there we go. Anyway, I completely digressed from where I was going there. I did do some sewing at the Sewing Social. I took with me a big box of scrap fabrics that I've been accumulating over a period of time, and I cut them out into squares and I was sewing them together. Now, inspirationally, I'll try and put some pictures in of the thing that I will ultimately go for, but this is a bit of a slow sewing project for me. I really want to just make a base bit of fabric. I think this is a nice, easy task to take, and we'll probably continue to take this to the Staffordshire Social as sort of like an ongoing project that I can do there. It was really enjoyable. Jenny was cutting out her pattern and doing bits and bobs at the cutting table whilst I was monotonously cutting out squares, which can be quite boring when you do that stuff at home. And then just sewing together squares I find personally can be quite boring when you do it at home, and it's such an easy task. You can do it whilst you're in that setting where you're talking to lots of people. So I haven't got that to hand, but if I can get a picture, I will pop in a picture of sort of some of the bits that I've done, just so you can get an idea of what it is that I'm talking about. But that was it from a sewing front this week. That is literally all I've done. Now, I do have the Heather blazer to finish, and this coming week that will be on the list of things that I want to get done, because I've started it. I do want to finish it. But I have a sewing retreat in 2 weeks' time, and ironically, I've been trying to think about what I'm taking with me, but also think about the things I need to make up before I go. So we're predominantly going to be around the cottage. We're going to be sewing. We've got a hot tub there. We may go out and do a few walks because we are in the middle of the Peak District. But essentially, it's going to be very much a relaxing getaway with a huge amount of people. Well, I think there's 10 of us in total. So for me, I want to take comfortable clothes, and my idea of comfortable clothes would be a matching cord kind of set. So thinking with my Make 9 cap on, I have got the Made for Mermaids Winnie trousers pattern. It's a wide leg pant pattern, but it's specifically made for knit fabrics. And I decided to go through my winter fabric stash that I have in a box outside. It's like a 15-litre tub. I put it out there last year to see what I've got that might be right, because I also don't want to buy any fabric. I'm being very good and mindful about not buying fabrics at the moment. So I found a few fabrics that might fit the bill. Let me share them with you. Here they are, all three. So there's a colour in there that will be very familiar for you guys with me. So the first one is this fabric here that I got when I went to Sobram. It was in Guthrie Garney and it was on the swaps table. It's like a Ponte Roma kind of fabric, but it's nice and warm and thick. Now I actually think this would make a very good Winnie pants. I do think this would work really well because of the structure, but it's also got a really good amount of stretch in it both ways. And I was looking at the sizing on the packet because I finally purchased the pattern this morning because I didn't own it. And I was looking at the sizing on the packet and I thought that would work really, really well, because I'm planning on sizing up one just to be a bit more comfortable, because it's got like a waist hip, like 43 to 46. with the right amount of stretch, or it's got a 47 to a, and I just thought if I go for a 47, because it's an elasticated waist anyway, it doesn't matter if it's got a slight bit of bag to it. So yeah, I thought this would be a good option for that. The only thing for me with that is making a top to go with it in this particular fabric. I'm not so sure about. Don't know whether that would look too much, be all right for at home. And the reason I say that is I've got like a stellar pair of joggers by Tilly and the Buttons, and I've got a Nora top by Tilly and the Buttons. If I can find a picture of the ensemble, I'll pop it in. And that's probably the most worn thing I have at home, but I think because of the print on it, I just associate it with a home loungewear set rather than an away loungewear set. As a sewist, we do make some bizarre decisions in the way that we think sometimes. I think I'm going away to a retreat where I'm going to spend most of my time lounging about. That would work, this would work, but in my head I need to be able to go out. Anyway, so this is an option, and it's there. I have pulled it out. If not, I do want to get that used up because it's a winter fabric, so I want to bring it into my inside fabrics. The other fabric I thought, which would work quite well, because this is a plain, so I've got 3 meters of this fabric. This I got from a swaps table. I think Adele might have bought this in. It's like a sweatshirting fabric. It's either a sweatshirting fabric or it's a brushed French terry fabric. It is this gorgeous baby blue. It's not a colour I tend to go for, but I thought with having 3 meters of this fabric, I could certainly get the trousers out of it, because I was looking at the fabric measurements. The yardage on it is about 2.5 yards just for the legs, because it gives you the different sizes, and then if you add the waist, I think it takes it up to a little bit more than that, which means 3 meters. I should be able to get that out, and maybe a top, because it's quite a wide fabric. So this was another option that I was thinking, and for a top wise, I could either go Tilly and the Buttons Nora top, because I've got that, I've made it several times. I could go for the LB pullover by Paper Theory that seems to be sweeping the sewing community at the moment. That's another choice. I've also got the Itch to Stitch Sibu top, which is like a batwing top I could go for, but I have got another plan for that top. So yeah, there's a couple of options there, but I know I've got tops in my pattern stash that would work really well to make sort of like a lounge cord set top. And with those patterns in mind, I have 3 meters of this. Now this is a pink fabric, sweatshirting fabric that I got from First for Fabrics. Now if they have this in stock, because I imagine this is quite a generic stock fabric for them, I will link it down below, but I did buy it last year. It's a bit creased because I washed it and then chucked it straight in there, so it needs a good iron. But this is lovely, and it's a really lightweight sweatshirting, so it would be perfect for this kind of project. Now I do want to make more than one set, because I'm there, we go on Friday, we don't leave till Monday afternoon, so I could potentially, on the Friday though, I will just say, Adele and I are already planning to make a shopping trip somewhere. We don't know where, but we've both got the day off work, so we're thinking of going shopping before we go to the actual retreat, because this is Adele and I, and we do love a good shop. So that is another option for me making that up. So they were plans for making stuff for the retreat, and then I've got a few more bits that I was thinking I could potentially take with me. I'm just going to grab those fabrics as well. Let's start with another bright pink. Now I did talk about making up a pair of Heyday Dungarees in last week's Friday Sews and never actually got around to doing anything with it. This is a needle core fabric that I got from Barry's Fabrics when we went to Sew Brum as well. It's a gorgeous colour, I love it. But Heyday Dungarees, again, are a perfect, acceptable outerwear. I know mine are bright pink and probably would be slightly ridiculous, but I love the idea of having a pair of bright pink, get your words out, Becky, bright pink Heyday Dungarees. And I think this would be great paired, I mean, even paired with the Freya that I've got on today, navy blue, just to bring the tone of the outfit down a little bit would be really good. And I don't own masses of plain fabrics. You guys know I am drawn to a pattern, and I think I'm being really good in sharing with you mainly plains. So I do think if I could make a pair of Heyday Dungarees up, that would be another sensible option that I could still be very, very comfortable in, but wear and leave the retreat if I need to in them, if that makes sense. So that is another thing that I am thinking about doing. The final thing that I thought I would do, and this was partly because I saw the fabric and forgot I had the fabric, and I've even got this in my stash hub, so I don't know how I forgot about it. This is a wide striped French terry fabric. Now, I bought this from Rainbow Fabrics last year. I doubt they'll have this on there. I think they had it advertised as a cotton fabric or a stretch fabric, but it's not. It's a loop back French terry, and and it's not actually got that much stretch to it. How many times can you say actually in one sentence? I will leave this in because I am not editing it out, even though I've lost the ability to speak today. Now, this is what I want to use for the Itch to Stitch Sibu top. Now, the Itch to Stitch Sibu top is a bat wing style top. It's got a cowl neck to it. It's very, very nice. I wore it this week. I'm actually filming a Me Made week in my wardrobe this week, and I was talking about it yesterday, so it feels very familiar to me. But I mentioned in there, I like the openness of the cowl neck on it, and I feel it's a lot nicer sometimes than when I wear a Freya. I think the Freya is lovely, but unless I wear it like this, I feel that my breasts essentially look like they are a lot lower and they are slightly sagging when I wear a Freya. That is how I feel, whereas wearing a Freya underneath the garment with something that gives me a little bit more shape puts them more into proportion. And I do think it's because I'm a larger busted lady that happens. So I thought an Itch to Stitch top would work perfectly because it's got that lower neckline with that cowl, and it just gives me more of an open neck, which proportions that out a little bit. I thought if I do this, I'll have to use a black or white. I've got both colours, whichever one's nearest to the colour on here. Ribbon for the neckline if I decide not to put the cowl on, but certainly for the cuffing and potentially the hemband, because like I said, there really isn't much stretch in this, and I want it to be a slightly oversized jumper to be comfortable. So that's it for sewing plans, really. There's quite a lot there. There's a lot for me to get on with, and this is for me to do over the next 2 weeks. Now, not all of this is necessarily to take to the sewing retreat with me. I went through my box of stuff. I do want some comfies. I may make up the Heyday Dongaries, but everything I'm talking about here should be relatively quick make. So they will be quite easy to complete over the next 2 weeks before I go. And then I will obviously have to think about what I'm actually taking with me to sew outside of the Nova coat, which I've already suggested to you. So I think that's it from me this week on Friday Sews. I hope you're all well. I hope you all have a fantastic week. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and hit that like button if you like what you see. My subscriber count is just creeping up, and I'm about 225 people shy of 4,000. And it's funny because you don't focus on your subscriber count until you get nearer that milestone, and then it's like I'm seeing it creep up so slowly. So if you don't subscribe to me, please, please, please consider subscribing. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe to me. This content is completely free to you. It's just a way of getting my videos out there a little bit more and known to others when you like. And then when you subscribe, you can hit a notification bell that tells you when I release content. So that's the point of subscribing. So if I'm a face that you like seeing on your screen, please hit that subscribe button. If I'm not, don't worry, please don't feel the need to comment. Right, on that note, I am going to leave it there. I will catch you all on Sunday when I share my week in my handmade wardrobe. Take care, bye.